The Grand Canyon is one of the most iconic natural wonders on Earth, a breathtaking landscape carved over millions of years by the Colorado River. Throughout history, it has fascinated explorers, scientists, and tourists alike with its beauty and immense size. But some people believe there is more to this vast chasm than meets the eye, hidden secrets lying deep within its canyons, caverns, and remote corners. Interestingly, despite its fame, much of the Grand Canyon remains unexplored, with legends and rumors about strange creatures, secret rooms, and ancient civilizations. But what if the Grand Canyon holds even more than we could imagine? Join us today as we uncover the top 10 hidden secrets of the Grand Canyon, secrets that may change the way we view this awe-inspiring natural wonder forever. Number 1. Ghosts underground. The Grand Canyon caverns are located deep within the heart of the canyon, thousands of feet below its rim. These vast underground passages and chambers are not only a fascinating geological feature, but also a site of eerie paranormal activity. Over the last 50 years, at least 8 people have died within the caverns, adding to the lore surrounding the area. Employees and visitors alike have reported strange occurrences, including unexplained sounds and ghostly sightings. One of the most persistent legends is of Walter Peck, a ghostly figure seen repeatedly around the elevator shaft, both at the top and the bottom. Walter Peck is said to have been a man who worked in the mines and, like others before him, met a tragic end. According to some accounts, the son of the former owner also hung himself at the top of the mines, adding another layer of grief and tragedy to the cavern's history. Additionally, a tour guide lost his life near the entrance, further intensifying the eerie atmosphere that surrounds this underground world. Native Americans once used the Grand Canyon caverns as a burial site, filling the space with the bones of the deceased. Today, those who venture into the caverns sometimes report hearing faint whispers and murmurs, as though the spirits of the past still linger in the dark tunnels. Some visitors claim to see the shadows of Native Americans dancing on the walls, with distant chants filling the air, making the experience both awe-inspiring and unsettling. In an effort to uncover the truth, business manager Mike Kadlitz hired the Orange County Ghosts and Legends Paranormal Team to investigate. The team used specialized equipment to capture evidence of ghostly activity. During their investigation, one of the team members even reported being struck by rocks, suggesting the presence of an unseen force. Number 2. The Giants of the Canyon. The Grand Canyon is home to more than just natural wonders. According to some, it hides a secret beneath its vast landscape, an ancient city once inhabited by giants. This legend began to gain traction after an article was published on April 5, 1909, in the Arizona Gazette. The article claimed that a man named Kincaid, while boating in the canyon, discovered an entrance to an underground world. The discovery was so extraordinary that it reportedly caught the attention of the Smithsonian Institution, which even funded an excavation of the site. According to the article, the subterranean city was accessible by a single tunnel, and the ruins of this lost civilization were found over 4,000 feet beneath the canyon's surface. What made the discovery even more bizarre was the location of the entrance. Halfway up the canyon wall, a position that would make it nearly impossible to find without detailed knowledge of the terrain. Inside the city, the researchers supposedly found evidence of an ancient culture, including hieroglyphic symbols on the walls, which some interpreted as Egyptian in origin. They also discovered mummified remains of giants, wrapped in dark linens, and numerous artifacts that seemed to support the idea of a lost civilization. However, despite the sensational nature of the discovery, no photographs were taken, and the artifacts have mysteriously disappeared. The Smithsonian Institution has denied any involvement in the excavation or any knowledge of such a place, leaving many to wonder whether the City of Giants truly exists, or if it was just a wild tale spun in the early 20th century. Number 3. UFOs over the canyon. The Grand Canyon has long been a hotspot for UFO sightings, and one of the most well-documented incidents occurred on June 27, 2020. A white orb, or disc-like object, was filmed hovering over the southern rim of the canyon. What makes this sighting stand out is that it was captured on video, providing undeniable evidence of an unusual phenomenon. The footage shows the object floating high in the sky with a dark center, moving slowly over the canyon as though it were on a purposeful journey. While UFO sightings are not uncommon in the area, this particular event gained significant attention because of the raw, unfiltered footage. Alien enthusiasts quickly speculated that the object was piloted by extraterrestrial beings observing human activity. However, without any concrete evidence to support such claims, it remains an open question whether the object was truly of alien origin or simply an unknown atmospheric phenomenon. What added credibility to the sighting was the fact that it wasn't just the person filming the event who saw the object. Over a dozen tourists who were visiting the Grand Canyon at the time also witnessed the strange orb as it hovered in the sky for over 30 minutes. This mass sighting further fueled speculation, as the object seemed to move with intent and purpose. Number 4. The Tusayan Ruins. The Tusayan Ruins are the only officially recognized ancient archaeological site within the Grand Canyon National Park. Dating back nearly 1,000 years, this site offers a glimpse into the lives of the ancestral Puebloans, a group of Native Americans who once called the Grand Canyon home. Despite extensive research and excavation, much about the Tusayan Ruins remains a mystery. The site includes the remnants of a small living area, storage rooms, a kiva, a ceremonial structure, and the stones that once formed the walls of the buildings. Researchers have determined that the site was occupied for no more than 20 years, beginning around the year 1185. Despite the relatively short period of occupation, the ruins offer valuable insight into the people who lived there, their culture, and their way of life. The first excavations of the Tusayan Ruins took place in the 1930s, with subsequent preservation efforts occurring in the 1940s and 1960s. The site was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1974, cementing its importance as an archaeological treasure. However, despite all the research, many questions remain unanswered. The most puzzling aspect of the Tusayan Ruins is the fact that it was only occupied for such a short time. Why the inhabitants left after just 2 decades is still a mystery. Were they driven away by environmental changes, conflict, or something else entirely? Number 5. Fossil footprints at Grand Canyon National Park. In 2016, researchers stumbled upon a remarkable discovery at Grand Canyon National Park: dinosaur footprints. These prints are believed to have been left behind about 313 million years ago, during a time when dinosaurs roamed the earth. What makes this discovery even more astonishing is the fact that the tracks were uncovered purely by chance, after part of a cliff collapsed. Norwegian geology professor Alan Krill and his students were hiking through the canyon when they noticed a boulder with imprints on it, lying along the trail. The tracks left by the dinosaurs immediately caught their attention. After further investigation, paleontologists concluded that these fossilized prints are some of the oldest traces ever found from any shelled, egg-laying animal, such as a reptile. These tracks also provide the earliest evidence of such creatures walking across sand dunes. The prints show that these ancient animals moved across the landscape in a way that is similar to modern-day reptiles, close to the ground and with a characteristic gait. While the tracks provided significant insight into the behavior and movement of these ancient creatures, scientists have been unable to definitively identify the species responsible for leaving these footprints. The significance of these tracks goes beyond simply showing the existence of these creatures. The tracks are preserved in an area that was once a vast sand dune field, suggesting that the dinosaurs roamed through an environment that was quite different from the one we see in the Grand Canyon today. The discovery also highlights how fossil records can offer valuable insights into past ecosystems and how life adapted to various environments millions of years ago. While scientists may not know exactly which species of dinosaur left these prints, the discovery at Grand Canyon National Park opens up new avenues for research. It sheds light on the diverse creatures that existed during the Permian period, a time when the Earth's landscape was shifting and new forms of life were evolving. Researchers are continuing to study the prints, hoping to uncover more about the animals that once walked this land and the environment they inhabited. Number 6. The Havasupai tribe. The Grand Canyon is not just a natural wonder, it is also home to a Native American tribe, the Havasupai. For over 1,000 years, the Havasupai have lived within the canyon and its surrounding areas, making them one of the oldest continuous residents of this land. The name Havasupai translates to people of the blue-green water, a reference to the vibrant waters of Havasu Creek that flow through their homeland. The creek, with its distinctive turquoise waters, is central to the tribe's identity and their deep connection to the land. The origins of the Havasupai are not entirely clear, but by the year 1000, they had established a strong presence in the Grand Canyon. Over time, the tribe developed advanced techniques for irrigation, which allowed them to cultivate crops during the summer months. In the winter, they would hunt along the plateaus that once teemed with wild game. Their lifestyle was perfectly adapted to the challenging environment of the Grand Canyon, which offered both natural resources and challenges. However, the history of the Havasupai has been one of struggle and resilience, especially in the face of colonization. In the late 1800s, European settlers flooded into the Arizona Territory, and the U.S. government began to force indigenous tribes, including the Havasupai, onto small reservations. By the early 20th century, the Havasupai were confined to a mere 518 acres within Havasu Canyon. When the Grand Canyon became a national park in 1919, the tribe was further displaced, leading to years of lobbying for the return of their ancestral lands. In 1975, the Havasupai were granted a significant victory when President Gerald Ford signed a law returning almost 190,000 acres of land to the tribe, expanding their reservation. Despite this, the tribe's struggles were far from over. One of the most pressing concerns for the Havasupai today is the threat of uranium mining in their sacred lands. In 2021, the tribe's chairwoman, Evangeline Kissoon, published an article highlighting their ongoing fight to protect the Grand Canyon from uranium mining projects. The Havasupai believe that the health of Havasu Creek is intrinsically linked to their identity and cultural practices, and they are determined to preserve it for future generations. Number 7. The Great Unconformity. The Great Unconformity is one of the Grand Canyon's most intriguing geological mysteries. Geologists have puzzled over it for over 150 years, trying to understand why a significant portion of Earth's geological history seems to be missing from the canyon's rock layers. This anomaly was first identified by explorer and geologist John Wesley Powell in 1869, when he noticed something strange during his expedition through the Grand Canyon. The layers of sediment that are typically visible in other parts of the world seemed to be absent in a key section of the Grand Canyon's rock record. The geological layers in the Grand Canyon are often compared to the rings of a tree, with each layer representing a different period of time in Earth's history. At the very bottom of the canyon, the Paleozoic Tapiat sandstone sits directly on top of the Proterozoic Vishnu schist. The Tapiat sandstone is about 500 million years old, while the Vishnu schist is around 1.8 billion years old. What's curious is the gap between these two layers, a missing piece of rock that represents about 1 billion years of Earth's history. Scientists have long struggled to explain where this missing rock went. One theory suggests that the breakup of the supercontinent Rodinia, which occurred nearly 2 billion years ago, may have caused the erasure of the geological record in certain regions. As the landmass split apart, the forces of tectonic activity could have destroyed the rock layers that once existed between the Tapete sandstone and the Vishnu schist. This mysterious gap in the geological timeline, now known as the Great Unconformity, has led to much debate among scientists. Some speculate that even more unusual forces could have been at play, potentially involving processes that are not fully understood. The discovery of the Great Unconformity challenges our understanding of Earth's history and highlights the complexities of the planet's geological processes. Number 8. The Mogon Monster. The Mogon Monster is a legendary cryptid said to haunt the remote wilderness surrounding the Grand Canyon. Similar to the infamous Sasquatch, it is described as a massive, hairy creature with a ferocious nature and an elusive demeanor. Though sightings are rare, the creature has been a part of local folklore for over a century, with the first known encounter dating back to 1903. The earliest recorded sighting was reported by I.W. Stevens, who shared his terrifying experience with Williams News. Stevens described the creature as a humanoid figure, covered in gray hair with patches of dirty, sun-scorched skin. Its face, he said, appeared to be burned, and it had glowing green eyes. What was most unsettling, however, were its talon-like fingers and its enormous size. Stevens claimed the creature wielded a large club, reminiscent of a caveman, and only retreated when Stevens fired his gun. Despite this early encounter, reports of the Mogon Monster didn't truly gain traction until the 1960s and 1970s. Sightings surged during these decades, with more locals and travelers reporting eerie shrieks in the night that could not be attributed to any known animal. Some have even claimed to have seen the enormous shadow of the creature lurking just beyond the tree line, particularly in the remote areas around the Grand Canyon's edges. The Mogon Monster's reputation as a creature of the dark has only fueled speculation, with some linking it to other mysterious cryptids found across North America. Many believe it shares similar traits with the Sasquatch. Both are described as large, hairy, and reclusive, living on the fringes of human civilization. As with Sasquatch sightings, the elusive nature of the Mogon Monster makes it difficult to prove its existence. Yet, the fear and fascination surrounding the creature persist. Number 9. The Underground Suite. Beneath the vast and rugged landscape of the Grand Canyon lies an astonishing secret, hidden deep within the caverns of the earth. Tucked 220 feet below the surface is a secluded underground motel room, one of the most unusual and mysterious accommodations in the world. The room's existence dates back to the height of the Cold War, when President John F. Kennedy sought to safeguard key figures in case of a nuclear catastrophe. In 1961, as tensions with the Soviet Union reached a fever pitch, the United States faced the very real threat of nuclear war. In response, President Kennedy ordered the construction of a secret underground facility in the Grand Canyon. This secure location, deep within the cave system, was meant to serve as a refuge for 2,000 people in the event of an attack. Stockpiles of food and supplies were stored in the caves, ensuring the survival of the nation's most important leaders for up to a month should the worst happen. Thankfully, the bombs never fell, and the facility's existence remained largely hidden from the public. Over time, the underground complex transitioned from a top-secret refuge to a peculiar tourist attraction. Today, the remains of the facility are still intact, though it now functions as a bizarre and exclusive hotel room that costs over $1,000 per night. The suite itself is furnished with all the essentials: running water sourced from natural underground streams, a small library, and a TV, though getting a signal is next to impossible in such a remote location. Visitors to this subterranean suite also get a glimpse into history, as the emergency rations stored there since the 1960s remain sealed and preserved in the dry environment. The room's isolation, combined with its rich history, makes it a unique and coveted destination for those with an interest in Cold War-era secrets and unusual accommodations. Number 10. The Forbidden Zone. Hidden within the vast expanse of the Grand Canyon lies a place shrouded in mystery and off-limits to the public, a zone so secretive that it remains largely unknown, even to those who have explored the area for decades. This Forbidden Zone, as it has come to be known, is not just a restricted area due to its dangerous terrain, but a location steeped in oddities and conspiracies that have intrigued researchers for over a century. Among the most puzzling aspects of the Forbidden Zone are the names of the geological formations found within it. Features like Osiris, Shiva Temple, and Horus Temple stand out as unusual, especially in a part of the world far removed from the ancient civilizations of Egypt and India. These names, which seem to evoke deities and legendary figures, have puzzled historians and explorers alike. The question of why these names were chosen and who gave them remains a mystery. The origins of these names can be traced back to the Powell Geographic Expedition of 1869, led by General John Wesley Powell. Powell, a prominent figure in American exploration and the first director of the Smithsonian Bureau of Ethnology, is believed to have named these formations during his pioneering survey of the Grand Canyon. However, the reasoning behind his choices is unclear. Was Powell inspired by his own fascination with Egyptian and Indian cultures, or did he possess knowledge of an ancient connection between these distant civilizations and the Grand Canyon? Adding to the intrigue is the 1909 article in the Phoenix Gazette, which described the discovery of a secret underground city purportedly inhabited by giants deep within the Grand Canyon. This sensational claim, though unsubstantiated, has only fueled speculation about the possibility of hidden, ancient civilizations beneath the canyon's layers. Despite these theories, the area remains off limits to all but a select few, with the National Park Service enforcing strict access restrictions. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated on more mysteries and secrets from around the world.